everybody, it's Kim, the Crafty Nomad, and I am back for another episode of Squared Up Saturdays, and this is the series where I am sharing with you some of the blankets that I have been making that are made up of squares and sort of squares. One of them is not quite a square, and then I'm adding something to the mix that is for sure not a square, but I think it'll fit with this segment. Anyway, today I don't have a lot of progress. I have a progress on two of my blankets that are made up of squares, and just a little bit. Because if you don't already know, if you watch Wednesday wrap sessions, you do already know that I had a very big finish. And I'll pop up a little video somewhere in here so you can see it if you haven't already seen it. But that, once I finished that, I kind of like, I've been working on stuff, believe me, but I kind of like got a little bit off my schedule. It was almost like I had to woosah after it was done, but it's definitely a victory. Very happy that it is done. And so let me show you what I have. First of all, though, let me say welcome to everybody. Thank you for coming back and spending some of your time with me. I really appreciate it. My name is Kim. I'm your host of the Crafty Nomad podcast, and you can find me on Instagram as at Kim the Crafty Nomad. You can also find me on Ravelry at pettiskimknits. We do have a podcast group for this podcast, on a Facebook group for this podcast, and I will link it down below. In addition, I do have an Etsy shop, and I recently had some sales, so thank you. The plan for the Etsy shop, I make project bags. There's also some merch over there, but it's very thin on project bags because I haven't been sewing. But I'm clearing the deck so that I can begin to sewing again in March, and maybe the Squared Up Saturday will also be sewing Saturday. So we'll see how that all goes as I hopefully get back to making things and putting things in my Etsy shop. All right, so if you are new here, thank you for choosing to check me out. I hope that you will stay. I hope that you will hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. I currently am doing 4 videos a week, and we shall see how long I continue with the Talk With Me Tuesday. That was a February commitment only, but I enjoy it, so we'll see if we'll keep doing that. And thank you for all the ride or dies, those that always are here, those that continuously support me with comments and likes and hearts and everything that you do to help keep me going. I would not be able to get these things done or even feel like continuing if it were not for this amazing crafting community, and I thank you so much for spending some of your time with me. All right, so today is a busy day. It's Saturday, obviously, and we are going to get together with some friends. I made this dish. You may have seen, I don't know if I posted it on Instagram or not, but I grew up eating this dish called, we called it Mexican style ribs and rice. And I hadn't had it in years, and when I was at home for Christmas, I was asking my mom about it. And I was like, next time I come home, I need that to be made. We need to make that. Like, I'll make it, but you need to walk me through kind of thing. And she was like, yeah, I know how to make it. Because I grew up eating it with my auntie making it. My mother's oldest sister used to make it all the time. And I didn't even know my mother knew how to make it, but apparently she does, because when I got home, I was at the store one day and I saw the ribs. So I bought some and I made some, and they turned out great. So I was asking my Latino friends, specifically my Mexican friends, if this is truly a authentic Mexican meal, or is this just something that like we sort of like south side of Chicago soul food type of Mexican style. I don't know, because I've never seen it in a restaurant. And they hadn't necessarily never heard of it either, but they said, well, we have to taste it to be sure. So today, we're going to get together with our best friend families, and I made the ribs and rice. They're bringing everything else, and we are going to go to one of them's new homes to see it for the first time, and so we're going to have some good times there. So I'm actually getting this done now because we're going to leave in a few hours. So let's go. Okay, so for Jordan's blanket, you saw last week I made a lot of progress. I have 4 strips of 5 each, which means I have 20 squares already done. We are only trying to get to 30 because we're going to do 5 by 6, I believe. We'll see. I might be doing 5 by 7. I really want the blanket to be substantial for him. And so I'm not sure if I need to make it longer because I want him to be able to use it in his adult life. So I'm trying to make it fairly big, and I know I'm going to have enough yarn if I would like to go a little further. So we will see if we do 5 by 7 or if we do 5 by 6, we will see. But at any rate, I did 2 more squares, and I even wove in the ends. So I have this one done, and I'll pop up a picture for those of you who might be here for the first time so you can see what this thing is looking like. Or I'll pop in some video. And then I made another one of the, backwards. I made that one. So we have 2 more additions to the pile. So as soon as I get to 5, I think every time I get to 5, I'm just going to sew them together in the strip like you see in the picture. So that's the progress on Jordan's blanket. And I'm going to lay that right here. All right. The next thing that we've been working on is a Christmas blanket. And I only did 1 additional square, but I wanted to show you. So these are all the squares I have, which, you know, I have 4 solids, 3 greens. What's that? 7. So now I have 10 because I had 9 last week. And the one I made last week, it came out just a little bit smaller than this one. And I think I was saying that I think it was either Aisha or Shara Chapin, same person, or it was, I'm kind of thinking it was Lori Malcolm who said to me that maybe my tension was tighter because I had been making amigurumi. And I made a lot of amigurumi to send off to Rose for wings, which I've done. And I'm still making some amigurumi, but I'm going to slow down a little bit because my hands are starting to hurt. Because like I said, I pull really tight. And then I'm just going to finish up the other 2 and take my time. One, I want to finish before the month is over. And the other one, I just want to finish before the quarter is over. So I am going to take my time and try not to hurt myself. But anyway, I do think this one came out smaller because when I count the rows, it's got the right amount of rows and everything. It just, look at how different it is. It looked way different in the picture when I show it on the camera. So that was the first one. So then I did another one that night. I did another one. After I showed you this one, I did another one, and it's different, right? My tension was not as tight. So I do think it's because I made this one after making amigurumi. So we're just going to figure out how to make that one work and fit. So that is it. I only made 1 more, so I'm up to 10 squares for the Christmas blanket. And I'm trying to get to 30 squares. All right, so that's that for that. And with this one, I'm really only trying to get 3 done every month so that by October I'll have 30 squares, and then I can have it stitched together for the holidays. Okay, and so yeah, the other square blanket that I am making is the memory blanket, which is black and white. I'll pop in a picture so you can see it if you haven't seen it before. I have not started my March square. I already finished my February square, and I'm only doing 1 a month on that one. So you'll probably next Saturday, though, I would have pulled out and started doing the the March square, so you'll see a little progress on that. So that is that for these, okay? So let's put those right there. All right. So the next thing that I'm gonna add to the mix is something that's related. Ooh, it's shaking. I'm sorry. Let's go shake again. To these books. All right. I'm gonna try not to put them on there. So I told you guys that I did a Thrift books haul, and I'm just going to show you the books really quickly, and I'll talk about them slowly. So the first I got there's two of them. Wait, two of them. Two of them are these books I have. Okay, so this is Afghans for All Seasons, book 3. And this is Afghan Books for All Seasons, book 4. I think I own book 1 already. I just can't find it. I think I packed it up in some of these boxes around here. And so that's those two. I'm trying to put them on the table so I don't shake the table again. Then I got, after I finished the Mile a Minute, I just really want to make blankets, okay? I don't know. I'm just into it right now. So, I got this one. Okay, funny story. Afghans on the double. I actually thought this was going to be I thought this was going to be patterns that you make with that double-ended crochet hook. But really, this one is all about holding 2 strands together. All right, so that's why on the double. So anyway, there's still some cute stuff in here. Forgot that one. Red Heart Afghans and Crochet Classics. This book is super interesting, and we will go through it, and I'll show you why it's so interesting. But really, that one on the cover is the one that got me. But I'll show you the back of it. And yeah, so there's some really cool things in this book, and I will take time to kind of show you guys what stands out for me in each one. And then this other one is Vanna's favorite gift Afghans. So today I wanted to go through this one. Wanted to show you Afghans for All Seasons, book 4. I wanted to point out a couple things in here that I really like, and I may have started a project. So the way these books are set up is they are separated by seasons, right? So this is spring. And in the spring section, some really pretty things. And the one, I'm just going to show you one from each section that I thought was super pretty. There are some Mile a Minute strip style ones in here, which excites me quite a bit. But in the spring section, this one is called Floral Fantasy. And look at how beautiful that is. That is probably something I may or may not ever make. I don't know. We'll see. So putting small things together. Although I'm here doing little things like that these days, and I seem to have gotten more comfortable. But look at this cute little baby Afghan, very pretty. And that's Baby's Joyful Arrival. So that is in those are a couple things in the spring section. And then here's summer. And what stood out to me, here's a Mile a Minute with, I think you are holding 3 strands together. So if you wanted to do something like that, that'll be a great way to use up your yarn stash. That's a stash buster, because you need quite a bit, like 1,000 grams of the white. You need 400 grams. Almost 2,000 meters of the white, almost 800 meters of the blue, and almost 700 meters or yards of the of the red, and you use the size Q crochet hook. And yeah, I'm thinking a great stash buster. And you could put any colors. That one had more like red, white, and blue, which makes sense for the summer in America, 4th of July situation. And then there's this one. And it is called Ivy Cottage. And we'll come back to Ivy Cottage in a minute. Let me show you. So that was spring. Let me show you. I mean, that was summer, actually. Look at this, though. I don't know. I always look at this kind of stuff. This is like a quilt inspired style, which I love. And then let's look at fall real quick. What stood out for fall for me is that, because it's interesting. And it is a strip style. I'm into that. Now this right here, this is really, all right, how many of you guys knew, I didn't, that the pineapple is a traditional symbol of hospitality? So what I'm thinking is to make these for housewarming gifts. And the friend that I'm going to see today, they just got their house at the end of last year, or at the fall of last year. And I wish I had one of these to bring over there today, but that's okay. I can still do it later. And then the other family also, they have us over all the time. So this would be a great holiday gift. So be on the lookout for possibly seeing me start one of these. It's called Perfect Welcome. This is a pretty pineapple wrap. And I think it would be a great housewarming gift. All right. And then winter. Let's see what stood out in winter for me is this one. Why is this winter? But it is. I believe this is winter. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, this is winter. I don't know why this is winter. But when you look at this, it's called Stained Glass. What a beautiful way to use up those one-off yarns. Oh, I just love it. And then there was this one with the angels. Can you see the angels? How beautiful is that? I love it. Okay, so let's go back to summer. And let me show you the newest addition to Squared Up Saturday, even though it's not a square. Ivy Cottage. I decided to give this one a go. Now, normally, I have never done any kind of work like that. And what I find is that I bought one of these, the book that I have, the first book of these that I had, I bought it when I was a young crocheter, or a newer crocheter. And I made at least one thing out of it, and it ended up coming apart. It was a granny square one, and one of the granny squares came out, and I ended up just tossing it, I think. And so I kind of thought, when I look at stuff like this, I was in the mindset that I'm just not good enough to be able, I'm not skilled enough to be able to do it. And what I'm realizing now is that I've been crocheting for a lot longer, and some of this stuff that used to intimidate me shouldn't intimidate me anymore. So I started the Ivy Cottage, and I'm starting it because for my mother. She wanted something in red. Let me go back to it. I like it in the green, but my mom wanted something in red, and I wanted to try this, and I think it's going to be fine. And so let me show you what I started. Oop, shaking the table again. Okay, so I bought one of these Lion Brand Pound of Love in the colorway Cherry. To finish that blanket, I need 3 of these. Look, more than 2 of these. So I had to get 2 more. I had to order them. But let me show you. I'm so happy with this. Because, because so much just pulled out. I'm using a J hook, which is what it called for. And I have begun to work on these strips. Now, this is one of those things that it's not mindless ever. I mean, I have to constantly look at the pattern. So let me show you where I'm at. I'll pull it up so I won't. Look at it. Look at it. It's coming out so nicely. And to do this is easier than it looks for me. I mean, you got to use stitch markers, so you see, you place stitch markers every once in a while to show you where to put the leaves at. Because you work these leaves, like, you put the stitch marker, that's where the leaf placement is, but you work 5 more rows before you actually do the leaf and go back. That's why you have to use the stitch marker. So at any given time, you usually will have 2. So by the time I do the next 4 rows, I will place a marker for the next leaf, and you just alternate each side. So this one is made up of the panel with just the leaves, which is the vine, and then there's a pattern, which you make 4 of these. And then there is a pattern, the other strip is the berry strip, and you have leaves and berries. And yeah, so I'm not even sure. I am thinking that mine is going to be all red. Like, I'm even going to join it with the red, I think is how it's going to go. And but anyway, I love how it's coming out, guys. It's just a bunch of double crochets for the most part. And then the leaves are made up of, you know what you call that, because you're wrapping the yarn 7 times. And so I don't know, but look at how they come out so nice. Anyway, I am loving it. I'm realizing that I have more skills these days than I used to. And I don't know, I guess I'm just clicking into it, and I don't have to be intimidated by certain patterns anymore, because I'm no longer a beginner like I was at first. But you know how you get like traumatized by a thing and you never want to do it again? Well, that's what happened in some of my early crochet projects. But I can show you some of my early amigurumi, and they looked a mess. So you just have to keep trying. That's the moral of the story. Anyway, that's it. That's all. We have been here long enough. I will go through each one of those books. I'll bring it in as a part of Squared Up Saturday to share information with you about each one of the books. They all have something great in them, but I definitely recommend going on Thrift Books and finding out, looking to see what they have. But anyway, thank you guys so much for supporting me, for inspiring me. I hope that you're inspired by me, and I hope that you find something that you enjoy every time you come here. And anyway, until we meet again, keep it crafty, everybody. Bye.